Hello, my friends. My name is Steven Schwarzbord, General Design, Marketing Strategy, and Investment Relations for Neuromama Ltd. Tell me something. How old were you in 2004? 30, 40, 50, whatever. What if in 2004, when you were 35 years old, you taking $100,000, invested in the Google, and cashed out a multimillionaire like all the other adventure capitalists who jump on a Google early. Who jump on a Google early because they could see what Google was going to do to Yahoo and the other search engines. What if you had made that investment 5 years ago and became one of those instant Google millionaires? Would you still be working as hard as you are now? Or would your life be easier, better, less stressful? Would you still be living in the same house and making the same back-breaking mortgage payments? Or would you be in a bigger house, or maybe a better house, or maybe in the same house with a mortgage paid off and already burned? If you have any college-age kids, would getting them through school be less of a challenge, less of an uphill climb? If you made that investment back when you were 35 years old, what if you could go back and do it over? That you could, knowing everything you know now, make a small investment in a search engine that's gonna dominate the industry. That's gonna revolutionize the way people navigate through cyberspace. That's gonna get listed on Nasdaq Capital Market in 90 days and create a whole new generation of instant search engine millionaires and multimillionaires within 9 months. Imagine going to a search engine and getting the perfect answer to your query in an eye blink, right at the top of the returns. Imagine not having to read endless description and scroll return page after return page to find a link that might, just maybe, be right. Imagine a list of search returns without endless duplicates, without links to scam and spam sites. Imagine a search engine that gives you more precise, more responsive answers than Google and delivers them faster. Imagine a search engine that uses neural programming to continuously, in real time, learn and evolve by tapping into the human intelligence of millions of people using the same search terms. A search engine that makes the concept behind the iPhone Siri application expands its capabilities by 200 or 300% and applies it to the entire web, all 620 million websites of it. Imagine a search that awards users search points every time they use it. Points which, like frequent flyer miles, they can redeem for free travel, upscale electronics, online education, games, software, all kind of products and services. Imagine all that. You would use that kind of a search engine, wouldn't you? Of course you would. And so would hundreds of millions of other web surfers. Okay, we can stop imagining now. We can stop because the search engine we've been imagining is real. Real, and launch for this Consumer Electronic Convention, and it is now, and is out of beta right now. Real and ready for launching its advertising sales in Latin America and in United States. Real and going to release its advertising sales starting this quarter. The biggest, most successful increase in sales on percentage basis in the history of the search engine industry. An increase that will dwarf Yahoo, that will tower over Google's, that will make its initial investors rich for life, rich for generations. Does this search engine have a name? Of course. Of course, it has a name. Neuromama.com. Neuro, because it's based on neural technology and gives clear, relevant answers to queries. Mama, because the users will love it like their mother. Because it leads users from around the world to exactly the places they wanted to go, not away from them. Look, we got to talk about Google for a minute. That's no way to avoid it. It's 2014. Google is, as the cliche goes, the 8,000-pound gorilla. Its search market share is more than all the other major search engines combined. Its revenues and profits scale off the chart when grabbed next to its competitors. That's Google. It's invisible, unassailable, eternal. You really think so? Let me read that sentence again with two small changes. As of 2001, Yahoo is, as the cliche goes, the 8,000-pound gorilla. Its basic search market share is more than all the other major search engines combined. Its revenues and profits scale off the chart when grouped next to its competitors. That's right. When Google launched in late '98, Yahoo was everything that Google is today. But Google, using link analysis technology instead of Yahoo industry standard keyword counting model, totally toppled Yahoo and the other engines within just 3 years. Google's new way of structuring website ranking algorithm was simply better than the older methods. So much better than all the other search engines eventually had to copy it, but by then it was too late. Google ruled. Now, did the mighty fall when Google appeared on the scene? How far did the mighty Yahoo fall when Google appeared on the scene? Well, consider this. Yahoo, the former 8,000-pound gorilla, fell so hard, fell so far that it simply gave up for about 5 years and licensed the right to access Google Index and present Google returns as its own. So to say that Google in 1998 launch was responsible for a sea change in search engine technology is a massive understatement. What it actually created was a planetary change. Whatever one calls it, however, sea change or planetary change or intergalactic change, it is still a 15-year-old change, a 20th century change, and antique as computer technology time is measured change. Yes, to be sure, Google and the other engines have, for better or worse according to most experts. In the case of Google, recent Panda and Penguin updates continuously tweaked, refined, and massaged the mathematical algorithms that apply the ranking rules, the basic codes. However, the assumptions about what makes a site good or bad, an authority or not an authority, are still the same as when they were written in the mid-90s. They are still rooted in a world where more than 90% of internet connections were made through temporary snail-paced dial-up connections. A world where e-commerce was still untried, entirely unproven concept. A world where no one searched the web for movies, music, or games because there were none to be found. A world where the World Wide Web, which only became available to the general public in 1994, was itself a new arrival on the internet scene, a baby with an enormous amount of potential that few people at a time could even begin to define. Google today is exactly where Yahoo was in 1998, an industry-leading 38 or 48 billion a year Goliath sitting contentedly on its mountain top. A fat, lazy, unmotivated Goliath, sitting contentedly on a mountain of obsolete algorithm, waiting for a young Don David with a sling full of 21st century technology to come along and blow it off its perch. Let me correct something. something I get, carried away. I think I call Google fat and lazy and technologically backward or something like that. That's not true. It's not what I meant. Google is a fantastic company, and it's really still in its infancy. Whatever it is on a Fortune list right now, it will be twice as high in 10 years, or probably 5. It is not fat, lazy, and technologically backward, except in its core business, except in search, except in its core search engine business. Ridiculously as it sounds, they outgrown the search business. They topped out. The Justice Department has already questioned whether the 63% market share constitute an illegal monopoly. If they get any bigger in search, those questions will be transformed into indictments. So Google executives have made a very wise and conscientious decision to let Google search cost while they use their capital and R&D assets generated by the search engine to conquer new worlds. Listen, I have to give you a quote. This is word for word from Google-owned company philosophy. It's number 2 in a list of 10 things we know to be true. It's best to do one thing really, really well. We do search. Doing search really well, that's what Google claims it's doing. That's what Google used to do. That's not what Google is doing now. Listen to these facts. The Google Android operating system is the most popular mobile device operating system in the world. Months after months, 4 times more Android phones and tablets are activated than Apple iPhones and iPads. On average, Google realizes 3 to 4 new versions of Android every year. That eats up an incredible amount of financial and engineering resources. Resources that are not available to upgrade and improve the Google search engine. And listen to this. Google has launched its new Cyberspace ISP service in the United States. Cyberspace is simply the fastest commercial internet service on earth, with 1 gigabyte per second download speeds. It is 10 times faster than the current fastest consumer connection technology. It is 100 times faster than the average broadband ISP service. Google Cyberspace allows users to download full-length, high-definition movie in 7 seconds. It gives consumers in their homes download and upload internet access at speeds almost as fast as those available to Pentagon mission planners. Google Cyberspace build-out plan calls for making it available in every major US market within 10 years at a cost, according to most experts, of more than $40 billion in cash and untold billion in R&D costs. Virtually all those billions will come out of the search engine revenues, leaving little or nothing available for updating its 1998 search engine technology to the 21st century standards. Google is also investing billions of dollars in initiatives aimed at becoming a significant player in the technology hardware market. Starting with today Google television consoles and Google Nexus tablets, Google planners look toward the future where Google laptops and other hardware devices running a new Google operating system will go head-to-head with Windows and Apple operating system-based hardware. Bottom line is Google is no longer a search engine company. Google is a conglomerate draining its own reliable cash cow, the Google search engine, to support all its other fat-flung enterprises. Newtomama.com is the company Google used to be. The company dedicated to doing one thing and only one thing really well. And that thing is search. That thing is internet platform. Listen, what are among the two most important factors to consider in evaluating a new business investment opportunity? Risk and monetization, right? Risk. What are the chances the investment will lose money rather than make it? And monetization. Is this company capable of generating enough revenue to become a darling of Wall Street when it releases a couple of quarters? Item. In 2004, when Google went public, most of all investors knew whether any company, particularly a search engine, which the conventional wisdom said gave its primary product away free, could make really big money on the web. Item. Google earnings the year before it went public were only $106 million. Amazon earnings for that same year were barely $32 million. Item. In 2004, Amazon shares sold in the 40s and Google averaged under 100. Today, Amazon is selling over 300 and Google share over 1,000. In 2004, more than 70% of internet users in America connected to the web through a dial-up modem that, among many other flaws, made it impossible for a web service to use their telephones while they were online. Today, over 90% of users have always-on broadband connections. That alone, that quantum leap in connectivity, makes an advanced new search engine a much more promising and far less risky investment than Yahoo was in the 90s and Google was in 2004. That said, all investments, particularly high appreciation investments with huge return potentials, have a degree of risk, and Newtomama.com is no exception. Risk is an inherent part of an investment ecology, and no one should make an investment in any company without first evaluating the cost-benefit ratio of that investment from their own personal point of view and financial status. It is reasonable to point out, however, that Google and Yahoo, despite their limited earnings, despite the dot-com meltdown, despite the investment community uncertainty about the future of e-commerce, generally were never particularly risky investments, because every search engine public offering in the history of the internet has been successful, widely successful. Every search engine IPO ever launched delivered enormous profits to the initial investors. Lycos, Alta Vista, Magellan, Infosys, all of them made the ground floor private backers very, very wealthy with relatively little risk. All right, we covered this investment overwhelming favorable risk-benefit ratio. What about revenues? Monetization. How is Newtomama gonna make its numbers? Numbers that will be higher and bigger than Google within 36 months. Did I say 36 months? No. 136 months. Okay, let's start here. All search engines, Google, Yahoo, Bing, Newtomama.com, have essentially a single source of revenue, paid advertising. There are, of course, many revenue streams contributing to this single pool: pay-per-click, keyword advertising like Google AdWords and AdSense, display advertising sold on a traditional cost per 1,000 impression basis, cost per action, CPA, multimedia advertising that returns X number of dollars to the search engine if the viewer does a certain thing, takes a survey, download a brochure, fills out a form requesting more information, etc. What all those things have in common is that the more traffic the search engine has, the more eyeballs that see the ads, the more the search engine can charge for each one. Google does not make approximately 4 times more from AdWords than Yahoo does from its keyword search advertising, because it carries 4 times as many ads. Yahoo ad count is pretty much the same as Google. What makes the difference in traffic? Google handles 4 or 5 times as many search queries as Yahoo, so advertisers bidding for keywords on Google are willing to pay 4 times more than those bidding on the same keywords on Yahoo. You follow me? Good. Thanks to our unique search rewards program, frequent searcher and shopper rewards, and state-of-the-art email, text message, and social network user acquisition campaigns, we are confident that Neuromama.com will break the crucial 100 million regular user mark within the next 180 days. This fact, combined with our unprecedented advertiser incentive programs and high sales conversion ratio, will enable us to quickly book huge accounts receivables from Blue Ribbon Commonwealth with contingency contracts. Huge amounts of committed advertising dollars, advertising contracts big enough to thrill shareholders and warm the heart of any Wall Street analyst. But the biggest secret of all, Latin America. Latin America, this is our future. There is 1 billion people that speak Spanish. What we have in Rosarito, Mexico, is kind of what Facebook have in the Silicon Valley. A beautiful compound, a great place to work, to play. And between now and June, we're going to have about 4,000 people selling advertising to Latin American companies. Latin American companies and US companies share the same thing. Both of them understand the importance of being on internet. However, Latin American companies, unlike US companies, they don't know how to go about it. Go to any website of any Latin American company. They're using last century technology. We're gonna make a lot of money in Latin America. Google kind of overlooked this market. Fighting in the United States with Google is like fighting with Mike Tyson. We don't want to do that, okay? But what we are doing, we're doing a Latin American invasion where we are already exclusive broadcaster of all soccer games. We're launching new television networks. This is where our future is, and this is the future for our shareholders. And here is something else you have to understand. Time is not on your side if you want to cash in on this awesome high return, low risk opportunity. Time is not on your side because the venture capitalists are coming, and frankly, there comes a point in the evolution of every 25, 50, or $100 billion company when there is no substitution for a venture capital firm that can write a check for $200 or $300 million. And the VC guys, venture capital guys, they know it. They never forget it. These guys who write those big $100 million checks didn't get to manage those investment banks and hedge funds by being stupid. They understand, they fully understand power they have. And one way they exercise that power is by insisting that the companies, they write those big checks to close their doors after them, close their doors to other investors, particularly small investors behind them. And you can't really blame them. Their business, their real business is F-bagging. F-bagging. Find winners and get out big. And getting out big requires controlling every point and fraction of a point of equity that they can get their hands on, which means limiting, to put it very, very mildly, the number of investors that can buy the stock at a low price. And today, what is it, $7 a share? It is a very low price. The company is valued at $4 billion. This is what approximately Facebook paid for Snapchat, except what is the upside potential for NeuroMama, NeuroPads, NeuroPhones, NeuroBooks, that's Apple. Search and email, that's Google. Infrastructure of social networks, that's Facebook. Video on demand and live broadcasting system, that's your Time Warner, library of entertainment assets included, and that's Netflix. Eurozone, a combination of Amazon and eBay, except better. We ship to 150 countries. So what is this company potentially could worth? Who knows? So today is the day. Today is either step up or step away. This is once in a decade opportunity to get in on the ground floor of the search, of the next search engine phenomenon. An opportunity that has only ever been available once before, in 2004. An opportunity to make a small investment that will turn into big dollars in less than 10 months. An opportunity to place a few chips on a table that has, in the entire history of its industry, produced only winners. A diamond cut opportunity to get rich with minimal risk. But it is also today kind of opportunity, an opportunity that won't wait. Look there. There it is. There it is. Right there in front of you. It's bright and shiny as it was in 2004. So call your stockbrokers. Go on the internet to your discount brokerage accounts and buy NeuroMama Ltd. Stock symbol NERO or NEROE. We just had our library of entertainment assets appraised at $17 million. What that means, that in less than 90 days, we're gonna be trading instead of a bulletin board. We will be trading on NASDAQ Capital Market. We have other assets that we haven't appraised them yet, like thousands of hours of extreme sports content, hundreds of movies. Call your broker.